wash and goes toward the front lately. So there are a couple things I do. I do like a little triangle for a section right here, which is what I'm going to do. Start out with. And I'm going to just twist this. Okay. Then I have a section here and here on the sides, kind of leading from the top of that triangle. Sometimes I go a little further back, but that's going to be a section. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. You will know how long it took me to do this wash and go because I'm going to film the entire process. I'm not sure if I need to edit it, but if I do edit it, it will be minimally edited and I will keep the timestamps going. Okay, I'm gonna dampen my hair a little bit more because it's been a minute since I washed it and it has begun to dry a little bit. All right, so because I don't have as much time as I would like, I'm going to section this into two sections, a top and a bottom. Clip this up here. And for this bottom section, I'm going to use the OUAI leave-in conditioner. I really love this. As you can see, it's well loved, but I have backups. I have another one here and I have some in my bathroom as well. So what I do with this product is I do like 7 or 8 sprays onto the palm of my hand, rub it together, and then I rub it into a section of hair like that. Just using like praying hands and raking it through. And I'm going to do the same thing, geez, to the other side. Oh, in the interest of time, I'm just going to open this other bottle. I'm rattled. Like that. Okay, and rub it in. I'm not going to show that again because, again, I'm trying to do this in a timely fashion. But I just use like all the techniques to work the product through my hair. It just depends on what that section needs. All right, and then I'm just gonna merge those sections together so there's no parting in the center. Now I'm gonna do this top part. Do the same thing. 7, and I'm gonna just take this and I'm gonna part it and work the product through this side. I'm applying the product in an upward motion. And the reason I'm doing that is because once I do this and lay the product in, I want to go like that. And it creates this little hump here. When I dry my hair, it'll help me to have a little bit more volume. A little bit more volume in that section. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to this size. That over, and then just make sure that I'm placing it so that those areas blend together. Now I'm going to do the same process. Whew. Sorry guys, this mic is getting away a little bit from me. All right, I'm going to do the same thing to this section. Normally I would split this section up and apply the product in more sections, but I'm just going to do like a top and bottom section. Work the product in pretty much from root to the tip of the hair, but I do want that lift, so I'm being strategic in terms of how close I get it to the root, because I don't want it to weigh my hair down. Okay. We're at the 6-minute mark. I'm gonna move this mic down some because I don't know if it's making a lot of noise to you all, but I feel like it probably is. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I get that on the ends as well. Okay, and I think that is good. Now I'm gonna get this front section. For the front, I like the front section to be super textured, so I'm gonna add a little bit of water on my hand just to get this a little more damp than it is. And I also want to make sure that I get the roots a little bit, because I want the texture to be like from the root all the way to the end of the hair. Okay. Sometimes when your hair is damp, at least my hair, it dries more quickly for whatever reason at the roots if I don't have any product on. And so if I want that area to be more textured, I have to make sure that I re-wet it. All right, and now I'm adding the product to this section as well. This I will also rake because I want it to have those clumped sections. And now I'm going to just wet the roots more around the front, just to kind of resaturate those areas and apply product. All right, let's see, we're 8 minutes in. All right, I'm gonna let this kind of dry like that. All right, now for the last part, everything is nice and wet. I'm gonna add my Curl Queen. Curl Cream, not Curl Queen. I have a backup of this one too, but I use my products till they're almost done. Now with this, if you have fine, medium density hair like I do, you won't need a lot of this. I'm just gonna use literally that much, probably for my whole head. And what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna rake it through the hair. I'm gonna scrunch it in, mostly getting the ends of the hair. Yep, just scrunching it in, making sure you're getting the ends of the hair. And then if you have like trouble areas that tend to be a little more frizzy, you could like go into those areas and, you know, work the product through a bit more. But I'm not gonna do that except for in this section, because sometimes it shows. So I just want to add a little of whatever product is remaining through these sections. Okay, we're on the 10-minute mark. Oh, we're right on time. Okay. Now, I'm going to diffuse my hair for 5 minutes. I won't put you through that because the sound is annoying, but I'm going to diffuse my hair for 5 minutes and then come back. Okay, I only dried my hair for 2 minutes instead of 5 minutes, and this is what it's looking like so far. I'm gonna do my makeup, get dressed, and then I'll come back for the styling portion and to see where it is in the drying process. But right now it's probably about 50 or 60% dry, which is really, really good. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, so these are the results thus far. It's still a little bit damp, not too damp though, and the roots are definitely dry. So what I'm gonna do is gently style it. And because I prepped the hair kind of in the direction I want it to go, you can see I have some volume here on top, which I absolutely love. Things are falling nicely in the front. And so, oh yeah, all I'm gonna do is just kind of zhuzh a little bit so that I get the shape I want. So I'm going to use this little pick and gently move the hair around, but move it around from the scalp. Don't like pull up. It's more like putting it on the scalp and then moving it over, right, to where you want it to be. So I'm going to pick up my ends and just kind of place them where I want. And then if I'm feeling like I don't have the exact shape or the volume I want, then I'm going to use the pick just to move it over a little bit more, which I feel like I'll have to do for the back. So I can take my fingers, put them at the roots because they're dry, and just kind of fluff. Hopefully this is coming up. And then if I have other areas that I want to kind of move around, again, I'll take that pick, put it where I want it, and then just slide it over. I love the shape. I am happy with this. I feel like this is a little bit flat. So I'm going to use one of the methods I demonstrated to you guys years ago in terms of how to get more volume while minimizing frizz. Okay, so I'm going to just take the pick, I'm going to set it on the scalp, and I'm just going to go back and forth like that. And I don't know if you can tell, but it is already doing what I want it to do. Like, look here, there's more volume there, and I can do it here and here, and I'll even come a little bit closer to the hairline to do the same thing. Right on the hairline and just going back and forth. You get more volume. Like, look at that. See the difference? So you get more volume without compromising texture on the ends. And then I'll just kind of go in and lift up to get the shape I want. Continue that process. This is nice. Oh, it's still a little damp, so I'm not going to separate that too much. There will be some clumped hairs, So if this was 100% dry, I would go ahead and separate this, but it's still just a little bit damp. So I'm gonna just let it air dry, and then I'll go in later, you know, when I get back, or tomorrow, and I'll go ahead and separate those curls. But there we are. Look at that. But yeah, there we are. I love this. I think this looks so pretty. I think this looks very nice. But one more thing. Okay, so final step is adding just a little bit of oil to the hair. I like to do that especially when it's hot. I'm using the OUAI hair oil, and you only need a little bit, like 1 or 2 pumps. And I like it because it has keratin in it, along with, and I like the ingredients of this product. I love the way it smells. Okay, so I don't know if y'all heard anything I said, because I got changed, took this thing off, and forgot all about it. But you can see the results. It is now 1:37. I'm meeting my dad at 2 o'clock. I started this process at 1:49. You can't beat this. It dried very quickly. The reason that this dried very quickly, just for a little bit more education, is because I did this process on damp hair. I didn't begin to prep it directly out of the shower where the hair is like soaking wet. I love to do that. Normally I would do that, but I knew that I was on a tight time constraint. So I did let my hair dry down a little bit, and then I just went in to dampen the hair, which is why it is, you know, it's dry. And again, take into consideration, if you're thinking about trying this method, that you may need to provide and give yourself a little extra time, because if you have very dense or very thick hair, I have medium to fine, low to medium density hair, so I don't have as much hair per square inch as my daughter, for instance, who has very beautifully dense, coily, thick, beautiful hair. It's all beautiful, right? But we have to take into consideration our own individual, you know, hair texture, hair density, and so forth when thinking about how much time it's going to take us to do this actual wash and go. So the entire process, like prepping, and the entire process after washing, took about 15 to 20 minutes. And that includes prepping the hair with the products I used, which was just 2 products, the OUAI leave-in conditioner, followed by just a bit of the OUAI Curl Cream. I don't know if I showed you this product on the screen, but OUAI Curl Cream. Just using those 2 products, you know, this is a result. And of course, the oil, you know, to finish, which is pretty, you know, it's optional. All right, so you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. I'm going to go celebrate my dad's 75th birthday, and I will see you next time. Bye.